Hi, this is Ben Wilmore, and I want to share with you a few Photoshop tips. These are just kind of a random collection of tips that I found to be useful on this particular image. This is what I call a panelage, which is a panorama collage, and I want to just show you a few things that help me to enhance it. If you look in my layers palette, you'll find that this image is created out of, I don't know how many layers, probably about 35 is my guess. And I would like to be able to quickly manipulate those layers. So first off, if you want to move layers around, be sure you're in the Move tool. And then if you're on the Mac, hold down the Command key, and if you're on Windows, hold down the Control key. And for the length of time that you have that held down, you're going to temporarily turn on something up here called Auto Select. I don't actually check the checkbox, it just automatically turns it on temporarily. And what that allows me to do is when I command click on a particular area of the image, it's going to look at the file and look directly below my mouse, and whatever the topmost layer is that contains something in that position is going to get targeted over here in my layers palette. So if you watch, I'll command click here, and then over here, and then over here. But after command clicking, I can just start dragging, so I can reposition all these pieces as much as I'd like. I have a bunch of them in here, just put them wherever I'd like. And then let's say I want to grab more than one of these layers to move more than one at a time. Well, usually you hold down the Shift key to work on more than one of something. So I'm going to hold down two keys now. The Command key on the Mac, Control in Windows, which means target this layer, as well as Shift, which means add it to the one that's already active in my layers palette. So I'm going to hold down those two keys and click on a few different layers here. Now you'll notice I'm moving 3 layers. Or I'll do that to another layer. Now I'm moving 4. And now I'm moving 5. If you want to no longer move one of those layers, just hold down the same 2 keys again and click on it. Now I just untargeted that layer, so I'm moving everything except for it. And if you have a background layer out here, you can also hold down the Command key, Control in Windows, and click and then drag like this. And any layer that touches this rectangle will become active. So if you watch my layers palette, you'll see that suddenly I can get a lot of layers active, so I can move them all as a group. So that's one set of tips, but now what I would like to do in here is to come in and add drop shadows to this. So I'm going to pick any layer I'd like, go to the bottom of my layers palette, and down here I'll find the choice of drop shadow. Now when you're in the drop shadow dialog box, you can actually click on your image and drag to reposition the shadow. And all it's doing is changing the distance in the angle setting. And so I'm going to come in there and adjust it exactly the way I'd like and click OK. Then you get the letters FX on the right side, which tells you that you have an effect applied to this. And if I right click on that, and if you're on a Mac with only one mouse button, you'd have to control click instead. I can choose Copy Layer Style. Then I want to apply the same layer style to all the other layers. So I'm going to go to the Layer menu where I'll find a choice, actually it's a Select menu, of All Layers. And that's going to select all my layers, and now I'm going to right click in the same spot I did earlier, and there's a choice of Paste Layer Style. And now you can see I have drop shadows on each one of these layers, so now if I come in here I can reposition them, target a layer first, and I have my drop shadows everywhere. And so those are a few quick tips, just a random collection, but I thought it was fun on this image because the drop shadow gives you a little bit of a sense of dimension. If you want to see more of my photography, this is just one example, be sure to go visit a few of my websites. The first one you want to know about is one that is called thebestofben.com. That's for my photography. Or I live on a tour bus, and if you want to follow my adventures, be sure to go to whereisben.com. And finally, if you want to know about my books and seminars and everything else, visit digitalmastery.com. That's digitalmastery.com. I hope you enjoyed this tip.